Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Something that we all know and love is laughter, and a great way to get your laugh on is with the Vail Comedy Festival. And so we've got the man behind all of the giggles that you can enjoy. Mark Masters, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thanks, Maddie. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here only because I have heard a lot about you from some wonderful community members about how wonderful as a human you are, but then of course you're bringing medicine that people don't even know they need to our community for 3 full days.
Yeah, May 26, 27, 28. It's every Memorial Day weekend in Vail Village. Vail Comedy Festival. You don't want to miss it.
And let's talk about how wonderful the lineup is. You guys have 31 comedians coming.
It's incredible. 30 plus comics. We got incredible headliners from all over, Los Angeles, Atlanta, New York City, and then the submission comics from everywhere from Milwaukee to San Francisco to a bunch from New York City again, all over the country. It's really cool.
And we're showing the lineup right now so you can see where everyone is from. A lot of New York, a lot of San Francisco, and then big names. Like you said, these 4 headliners have been on some huge TV shows.
Late Night with Stephen Colbert, HBO, The Tonight Show.
Right, and then of course we've got some locals coming from Denver up to the mountains, so they're at home a little bit, and it's just going to be a ton of fun because there's really no better medicine than laughter.
It's the best. I talk to corporations all the time about the health benefits of laughter. It increases your white blood cells, you burn calories. There's all kinds of health benefits to laughing.
And it's like a solid workout if you laugh so hard that then your stomach starts to hurt, which is what I tend to do sometimes.
You might get a 6-pack as a side effect.
I'm working on it right now. I'll be honest. I keep trying to giggle hard enough that that's the forecast for me is a 6-pack from laughing. Now, how long have you been doing this?
The Vail Comedy Festival, this is the 2nd year we've done it. Last year was incredible. The comics were amazing. The business community and all the people in Vail were the best. They were very welcoming. There are people all over the country who came to Vail for Memorial Day weekend and left with just the best impression of Vail. It's the most beautiful place on earth. The nicest people. You know, these are people who live in studio apartments in New York City with 3 roommates, and then they get to like go hiking on Vail Mountain, and it just like blows their mind. The Gore Creek is racing. You know, Memorial Day weekend, it's a little bit of a roll of the dice, but it can be so beautiful. It's such a cool time of year.
It is such a cool time of the year. Sometimes we get some snow, sometimes there's some beautiful sunshine, but then you can start your morning off up in Beaver Creek for blues, brews, and barbecues, and then you can end it with some fabulous comedy at multiple different venues. So let's talk about what venues you guys have in the lineup this year.
Yeah, so we're all over Vail Village. One place we're excited to be back at is Kachina at the Lodge at Vail. They recently did a construction project, so they got a whole new look and feel over last year. We'll be at Loaded Joe's. And basically everything is within walking distance of the covered bridge in Vail.
Which makes it so convenient. That way you can just go, you can enjoy. Now we're showing kind of what you can expect, where you can see it. So you've got the 10th Mountain Whiskey, you've got so many different places, you've got a comedy open mic. That's gonna be a ton of fun.
We call it a show up showcase. Anybody is welcome. Come up, arrive early, sign up on the list. You'll get a couple minutes. Last year, Stephen Rogers from Late Night with Stephen Colbert, fresh off a James Corden set, was there working out material. So you never know who's going to drop into the Show Up Showcase. It's really fun to watch, and it's an opportunity for anybody to try to be a comedian. And speaking of, we have something new this year. The day before the festival, Thursday, May 25th, we're doing an all-day comedy school with Christy Buckley. She's a comedian out of Denver, nationally touring, super funny, very great at coaching comedians. She's teaching a class about everything: crowd work, writing jokes, performing on stage. It's going to be really cool, and we're going to zoom in some people who they're surprise guests, but we have like a national TV booker who's going to be part of it. We have one of the I shouldn't give this away, but one of the Vail Comedy Festival headliners is going to drop in and do a session. So that's going to be really fun. That's the day before the festival, all day on Thursday, May 25th.
I feel like I should do that. I feel like it would make me so much better at my job if I could crack some good jokes here and there. I emceed a comedy show, and I was not funny. I like got up and announced that it was good morning to everyone at like 9 o'clock at night and was
muscle
like,
memory.
Right, exactly. I was like, well, sorry, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Now, you've brought comedy to Vail and you do it little sporadic shows
Yeah.
throughout the year as well. And so people can really just focus on spending that time with themselves and giving themselves the opportunity to laugh.
Yeah, if you're local, we run shows year-round. We have shows in Eagle at Moe's Original Barbecue, which are so fun. They're the best. We fly in comics from New York and Los Angeles, and the feedback is incredible from the comedians. These are nationally touring headliners. It's a barbecue restaurant. It doesn't seem like it should be a place where there can be a comedy show, but in an hour with the staff from Moe's and some comedy helpers, we turn it into a comedy club. And if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. It's so fun. We get 100 people in there, and it's a blast. It's like going to Comedy Works in Denver, but in that Moe's Original Barbecue that used to be a gas station. It's a weird place to have a comedy show, but it's really fun. And then we do shows in the Vail Village as well throughout the year, and it's similar thing. Nationally touring headliners you've seen on TV, we fly them in, we put on a show, and people love it. We get regulars. We get people who fly in, you know, maybe they come to Vail once a year, and they go to vailcomedyshow.com if they're coming in March, let's say, of 2024. They want to see what week we have a show, and they plan their vacation so that they can be in town when there's a Vail comedy show.
Which is something that's so cool and such a unique thing that we now have in our community. So thank you for bringing this to life. Now let's talk about why you chose to kind of expand the horizons here in Vail for comedy.
Yeah, so the Vail Comedy Festival was a great opportunity to grow. So in partnership with the town of Vail, Memorial Day weekend is what they call a need period. They're trying to draw traffic to the businesses of Vail, and so I partnered with them the last few years to bring in the 30-plus comedians and hundreds of visitors. About half of them come from Denver up to the mountains to experience 3 days of laughs, and we have like 20-plus events. We have live podcast tapings this year. We have Hippie Not Hippie, which is a hilarious podcast with two headlining comedians out of Denver, and they're going to be interviewing and joking with some of these traveling comedians all weekend long at 10th Mountain Whiskey. We have live stand-up shows. It's fun. It's a blast for me. And my favorite thing about it is when I'm in New Orleans or New York City or Minneapolis, Minnesota, and somebody comes up to me and sees my sweatshirt and says, my best friend did your festival last year and said it was the best festival they've ever done. The people of Vail sound amazing. I want to apply. I want to go. And so this year we had a record number of applications from comedians around the country who wanted to be a part of Vail Comedy Festival. Wow. And we're just excited to keep growing it.
And now let's talk about that. If people are interested in being a comedian in next year's Vail Comedy Festival, when can they start applying for one of these incredible 31 spots?
Yes. So we officially open on November 1st for applications, and that runs through the end of February. You submit a 5-minute video of you doing comedy and answer a couple questions, and then there's a committee of national comedy people who review all the videos and score them, and it goes into a fancy computer program and spits out this incredible lineup. And here's a little secret. Last year on October 31st, which is Halloween, a lot of fun, we did a special discounted like surprise opening of festival submissions. So Halloween is the cheapest way to apply to Vail Comedy Festival for 2024.
Mark, thank you so much for what you do for our community. You're providing the best medicine possible to everyone, and especially because we've had a long winter. I know that some people were really struggling with their seasonal depression, and everyone stayed so busy that this is such a good way, even for the locals, to just get out there and relax a little bit.
Absolutely. Go to vailcomedyfestival.com, buy your passes before they sell out. We sold out last year after we got a story in the Denver Post, so go buy those passes.
Mark, again, thank you so much for being here and giving us all this great information and the hard work you do for the community.
Thank you, Maddie.
Make sure that you go to vailcomedyfestival.com. You buy your tickets right now while you still can, and that way you can see all of these incredible performers, because you're not going to want to miss out. 3 days, 31 performers, and 7 venues of just straight laughter. Make sure you go online and buy your tickets. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.